What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for November 29th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. We got a big show today for Wednesday. In case you missed it yesterday, in honor of Giving Tuesday, I announced that we are doing the first annual holiday gift and food drive. This day in Philly sports history is partnering with the Maddie and Dixon Community Cupboard. And ultimately, they're a great organization. They have a few different offices within this area. They're based out of Ambler, but they desperately need help, just like many places do. So something I do, and I got a lot of questions about this yesterday. I do a reverse advent calendar with the kids, and each day we put something in a bag and then we take it and deliver it. I'm glad I went, and next year I'll do it a little bit earlier. I'm glad I went because they are actually, the Maddie Ann Dixon Community Cupboard is closed after the 15th of December because they're going to be going out and giving away all their things. So we're doing sort of an abbreviated one, but what the reverse advent calendar is each day, like I said, you put a item of food in a bag, we take it and donate it. And since we're only doing 14 days this year, we are going to do with the kids 10 random acts of kindness leading up to Christmas. So that's sort of where this idea came from. I went and talked with the folks over there, and they need a lot. And I posted the information on what they need on my social media. If you have any specific questions, DM me, leave a comment. If you know me outside of the podcast, get in touch with me via email, give me a call, text, or whatever, and I can fill you in on the details. But they have two distinct needs right now for the holidays. And the main one right now, by December 8th, they need $25 gift cards, increments of 25 from either Target, Walmart, and Amazon. And what they do is they're going to give them out to kids and let them go buy some Christmas presents. So ultimately, you're playing Santa for someone. So if you can donate a $25 gift card, you can send it directly to them. They do take cash donations as well. They're hurting all over. They need the perishable, the non-perishable, the gift cards for the kids for the holidays. So you name it, they need it. The information is on there as far as what to go and see for their site. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. A few of you reached out and asked, because you're not necessarily close to the Ambler area, if you could Amazon me some of the items that they need. Absolutely. And if that's something you want to do and that's something you feel more comfortable with, get in touch with me offline and I'll send you my address so you can send it. But they're a great organization. They've been around for over 50 years in this area, and it's just you hate to see anybody suffer, and these guys do a great job trying to help out as many people as they can in the community, but they need our help to go. So anything you can give is fine. All the items that they need for food-wise, they're on the list. I'll be starting to go over them in December. But again, any little bit helps. Any questions, feel free to get in touch with me offline. But thank you for participating in our first annual gift and food drive. No idea what to expect, but again, anything we can do to help out that organization is great. So thank you in advance. All right, so recapping our question of the day from yesterday, we talked about the most disappointing draft picks in the process era, and really it came down to three, and it was a lot closer, I think, than what I had anticipated. And it was Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, each getting 36% of the vote. But Jahlil Okafor was right there with whatever the difference was, 27 point whatever. No love for Michael Carter-Williams. I feel like he was the OG member of the process. But hard to argue any one of the three of those guys really could be the disappointment. I mean, I think to me, Simmons is like the one that sticks out the most. But again, I think Fultz, because of what he was supposed to be, teaming up with, and I just wonder if he would have been able to come in and run the point, whether Simmons' career would have played out differently. The fact that we got duped by the Celtics and Jason Tatum is going to be killing us for years to come. I think to me that kind of puts him just above Ben Simmons. And again, you guys all know how I feel about Ben Simmons. But thank you, as always, for participating and reaching out. We will have a question of the day later in the show. Good news on the Sixers front. Kelly Oubre could play as early as this Friday against the Celtics. And I think that's huge because I keep saying it, but they were playing differently before he got hurt. So hopefully he comes back and provides the spark they need, especially against the Celtics. And the aforementioned Jason Tatum, who he would look so good in the Sixers uniform, but whatever. He's in green, so we hate him. Big Five news. 2 big games tonight in the Big Five. Temple takes on LaSalle, and St. Joe's plays Villanova. The 2 winners will play Saturday for first place in the first ever Big Five Classic. Not gonna lie, I'm getting a little excited and amped up for it. Just because I like college basketball, and I would love for the teams in Philly to be good again. It's just one of those odd sort of. It's just the way the landscape has played out that they're just not good. But I think the American Conference for Temple anyway. I'm going to speak from a Temple, obviously, if you look around from a Temple standpoint. But I think the American is a step up from Conference USA. But yesterday the announcement was that the University of Delaware is going to jump up to Division I or FBS, whatever the letters are, and actually join Conference USA. And it got me thinking, like, I don't know what the next step is for Temple. Like, I don't know if it's I don't know whether it's better to drop down to a lower conference, so to speak, or a less prestigious conference. Or just kind of still middle around in the top end of the mid-majors, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It just was an interesting story because they were all hyped up at the University of Delaware about it. And it's just, man, like what could have been and just I don't know. I don't know if there is an easy answer for it, but just something that I kind of thought about. But we'll see. So go Owls tonight against LaSalle. Hopefully they can be, if they play, they could knock off Nova possibly, and that's a good win for their resume. Anyway, Flyers came out flat, lost an ugly one to the Hurricanes last night, 4-1. I was reading some stats on this, and it's interesting that they're such a good team when they score first in the first period and one of the best teams scoring in the first period. However, they haven't scored a goal in the first period in 4 games, which doesn't bode well because they also don't have any come-from-behind wins. So they're like 0-8-1, I think it is, when they don't score in the first period. So it's sort of like that start is something that they need to have in order to do well. But again, we keep saying that they're a young team. I'm telling you now, this is the time to get in on the ground floor. If you need some Flyers gear, go to Philly Goat. I mean, I talked about the Quakers sweatshirt that was inspired by us and just doing our normal everyday thing here when we talked about the Philadelphia Quakers back in 1931. But go to Philly Goat. I mean, I think they're doing a little bit of a heavy metal theme, which is pretty cool. They did Green Sabbath for the Eagles the other day. They had an Iron Maxi shirt, which I thought was pretty cool too. And this is the kind of stuff you get from them. There's always something new, which is, to me, the best part about this, so it doesn't get stale. So go to Philly Goat, use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. Great holiday gift. You got about 12 days or so to get your orders in so they're delivered by Christmas. But why wait? Go now. You won't be disappointed. Get your Iron Maxi shirt, get your Quakers sweatshirt, the Mega John, whatever you need, they got it. Go get it. We've done it. Like all the nieces and nephews are getting it. So go to Philly Goat. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. All right. Big game this week, and the Eagles did get some big news yesterday. First, Lane said he's playing, and I feel like if Lane's saying he's playing, he's going to end up playing. The ironic thing is he did practice all last week and just kind of woke up being sore. And I apologize for taking a sip of coffee on the air, but I felt a cough coming on. I'm trying to break the streak of the cough. It's been like 3 weeks now. But Lane says he's playing. The even bigger news is there's a potential that Dallas Goedert could play. He's really pushing, and again, I think it's sort of that mindset, and that's one of the things that's unsung about this team that nobody really talks about. It's all about, oh, the refs are all about this, and they're playing ugly, but they really want to play for each other, and I think that's a big part of the reason why they find ways to win and have been able to be successful. So no official word on that, but Goddard is really, really pushing. They're still 2.5-point underdogs, which is crazy to me, which I'm okay with. And I think the difference in this game is, and it's a great spot to be in. And again, I've compared this team a lot to a lot of the old school, like Cowboys, 49ers, Packers, Tom Brady, Patriots teams, where, and even Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs for the most part, this for the 49ers is their Super Bowl. They've been looking forward to this all year. All off season. And I have to say, I mean, yes, it's in the big picture, it's a big game as far as the standings, but because of how well the Eagles have done winning games and finding ways to win, for the most part, this is just another game for the Eagles. They have a comfortable cushion. I mean, it's not big. I mean, I don't want them to lose this game, but and I think that's going to bode well because they're going to come out and try to punch the Eagles in the mouth. And the Eagles have shown that they're able to withstand that. So I think once the adrenaline wears off, these are two very evenly matched teams for the most part. It should be a good game. But it's something to keep in mind, just the mindset, that whole one game at a time, where the 49ers have been looking forward to this since last January. And I don't know if that's good or bad, whether they're going to be overhyped for it, but just something to think about. A couple quick Eagles related updates. Shaquille Leonard will be in town today visiting the Eagles. He was in Dallas yesterday and left without a contract. And I just remember from the early days of free agency back in the 90s, if you really want a guy, you make the offer and you don't let him leave the building. So the fact that he left Dallas and is coming here, I think that kind of bodes well for the Eagles. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I've always felt like if you really wanted the guy, you wouldn't have let him leave Dallas. Or if he really wanted to be with you, he wouldn't have left if you had a decent offer on the table. So more on that hopefully tomorrow as he's coming in today to visit. And finally, two former Eagles, Eric Allen and Ricky Watters, are both on the Hall of Fame semifinalist list. In my opinion, both should be in. I mean, honestly, Eric Allen, I have no idea why he's not in. It's just bizarre to me that Eric Allen is not in the Hall of Fame yet. Ricky Watters also should be based on his numbers. I think his attitude is kind of what's keeping him out, which again is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that sports writers have this power, because you might just have a bad relationship with a player, and it doesn't take away from what he's done on the field. I feel very strongly that if you're going to do the Hall of Fame should be based on what you do on the field. And yes, there are a lot of people who do a lot of scumbag things off the field, but if you're really going to celebrate what people do on whatever their respective field, the court, whatever, you need to base the Hall of Fame criteria on what they do on the field, not because he was a jerk to you or a jerk to the team or you felt some moral high road that, oh, I got to prove a point. No. If the guy has the numbers and the career to support it, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And that's a whole other issue I don't want to get into right now, but put Ricky in, put Eric in, let's go. All right, today we're going to go back to 2007, and sort of an interesting one today. On this day in 2007, Jimmy Rollins and Cole Hamels donned the Phillies' new alternate home game day or day game uniforms. They're the cream color ones they wear on day games with the blue and red hats. There's an homage to the 1946 to 49 teams. That was like when Richie Ashburn and Robin Roberts were rookies and early year players. They went to the World Series the first year they wore these jerseys. However, I never realized this. When they first started, they wore the red batting helmets with them. It wasn't until the next year that they had the matching batting helmets to go with the jerseys. But this is Bryce Harper's favorite jersey. He just says they look clean. And he's like, I know it's possible, or not the most popular opinion, but I kind of agree with him. I really do like these. They do wear them still to this day. They're the home day game, except for Thursdays when they wear the powder blue. So every home game except for a Thursday day game, they'll wear the powder blues. So I wanted to give just a quick brief history of what the Phillies uniform combinations are now. They have the red pinstripes. They wear them for most home games that start start at 6 p.m. or later. And to me, they're the best pinstripes in the game. Yankees, Cubs, whoever. To me, it's the Phillies red pinstripes are the best ones in the game. They have their road grays where they wear on every road game except for the getaway days. And, I mean, to me, they just are what they are. They're road jersey. Whatever. The cream color ones that we just talked about, that they were announced today, I love them. I actually really, really do love them. My next Phillies jersey is going to be one of the cream ones. I've always wanted one. And again, I love them. Then they have the powder blue where they wear on Thursday day games and then some other special occasions. And just like the Kelly Green jerseys, I love these jerseys. However, I like it as is a special treat. I don't want to see them switch to them all the time. I would like to keep a sort of like a special thing when they wear them. I might be in the minority on this, but the same with the Kelly Green jerseys. Keep them for a few times during the year and keep them special. And then on the road, they wear the red batting practice jerseys for the getaway days. So usually like the third or the fourth game if they're going to be flying out. Just like their spring training uniforms, I kind of like them as a switch up. But that leads us to today's question of the day. Which of the 5 are your favorite Phillies uniforms? And I think we could probably throw out the road grays. Unless you like them, let me know. But is it the red pinstripes? Is it the creams? Is it the powder blue? Or is it the road jerseys? Let me know. That's going to be a tough one. To me, I don't know. I'm torn between the creams and the red pinstripes. I'm telling you, the red pinstripes really look clean to me, and they're the best pinstripes in the game. But those creams are kind of nice. I do love the powder blues too as a special. But let me know what you think. Social media, TikTok and Twitter, Jimbo_Mont. Instagram at Philly Jimbo. Hit me up on Facebook. Leave a comment wherever you're watching or listening to this, but let me know which are the best Phillies uniforms that they have of the different combos that they wear in honor of this day in 2007 when Jimmy Rollins and Cole Hamels came out and debuted and showed the world the new day game home jerseys for the Phillies, those cream color ones that are just so sweet with the blue and red hat. Oh, I love them. But let me know what you think. Also, I've been telling you about Philly Goat. Check out Carcan. Time is running out for them as well to get your order in for the holidays. It's a great thing for the office. I'm going to be placing an order this week for some of the people I work with. I'm still going to get one for my dad just because I think he'll like it. But check it out. They have all your car organizational needs covered. Go to carcan.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery 20 off, all one word, for 20% off your order. That's carcan.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery 20 off for 20% off of your order. And finally, sticking with the Phils theme today, we're going to go to our Phillies sports most disappointing athlete. Today, we're going to talk about J.D. Drew, who was the second overall pick in the 1997 draft. And it's hard to kind of figure out where he fit in with the whole disappointment. But Scott Boras, who was his agent, said he's not going to sign for less than $10 million. The Phillies thought that was an absurd amount, did not want to pay him $10 million for an unproven player. They did offer him $2.6 million to sign, which for the Phillies at the time was a pretty substantial offer. He refused to play, even though Boras said, listen, he's not signing for less than $10 million, so don't bother drafting him if you're not going to pay him. So he went back into the draft the next year, drafted by the Cardinals. Remember, he has the whole incident when the Phillies fans threw batteries at him in 1999. Overall, for his career, he played 14 years, .278, 242 homers, 794 RBIs, basically averaged 25 homers, 82 RBI. Did make one All-Star game, won the MVP, of course, that year. But not second overall pick worthy, but a solid career. I'll give him that. I think where the disappointment comes in is had they been able to work it out and given him the $10 million, would that have kept Scott Rowland here? And we've talked about this. Would we have wanted Scott Rowland to be here? Would it have messed up the whole 2008 vibe and flow of everything? Would they have needed to sign Jim Thome? Like, there's so many different questions with that. But they did pass on Troy Gloss, Vernon Wells, and Lance Berkman are guys that were comparable that could have fit into that spot that J.D. Drew was picked. Ultimately, because he didn't play, they had a horrible season. They had the number one pick the next year, took Pat Burrell, and we all know how that worked out. Maybe we dodged a bullet. I don't know. It's tough to say with J.D. Drew. Like, did we dodge a bullet? Would they have rushed him along? Would they have messed it up? And again, I keep going back to how would that have impacted Scott Rowland, and what would that have ultimately impacted on 2008 and that run we had? But today's most disappointing athlete never appeared in a game for the Philadelphia Phillies, but J.D. Drew. Just that whole situation, I remember living through it, and it just was a hot mess and kind of really turned a lot of fans against the Phillies because of their unwillingness to spend money, which ultimately is why Scott Rowland wanted to leave town anyway. But J.D. Drew is today's Philly sports most disappointing athlete. Don't forget to vote on today's question of the day. What are your favorite Phillies uniforms that they wear currently? Because on this day in 2007, they introduced the cream color with the red and blue hats that they wear on home day games that are not Thursdays today. Big Eagles game, like I said, we got to pace ourselves this week, but I think we're going to be good. The news of Goddard and Lane Johnson is huge, but I mean, the 49ers are going to come in ready to go. It should be – I'm looking forward to this game, and I've been looking forward to it too because I don't need to worry about one game at a time because I'm a fan. I've been looking forward to this game as well. But be sure to check out Philly Goat and Car Can. Give whatever you can do for the Matty Ann Dixon Community Cupboard. If you have any specific questions, don't hit me up offline. Let me know. Feel free to – just Amazon or send whatever you want to me. If you want to send gift cards directly to them, make sure they're in $25 increments so they can make sure they match up well for families and everything. But anything you can do for this great organization, please do. It is a Wednesday. It's going to be cold, so make sure you bundle up. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.